Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Calvin Camp Podcast. Today, we are talking about The Last of Us Season 2. We are doing Episode 6 today, so stay tuned. All right, here we are. We're back again. We got me, we got Anthony, we got Mike.
Mike is here again.
We are talking about Episode 6 of The Last of Us Season 2, and it was a doozy. But before we get too far into the episode, let's start off with Anthony. Where are you at in the game?
I am past all the madness of what's going on now, and I'm starting Abby's campaign at the stadium. I've checked out with Manny and what's her name? Oh God,
Mel.
Mel.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all going. We're in the warehouse. Seraphites have jumped us. There's a little sequence in the car and the truck, and Manny loses control and he crashes. And then you're in that warehouse where you get inside, and that's where I'm at, and that's where I stopped playing. So I think I'm good to go.
Okay. So you are definitely in safe territory for us to
discuss.
We're
I'm in the safe territory. We can open up this can of worms and go crazy on it.
Okay, so then let's jump right into episode 6. This episode was a lot better for me than most of the show. So I think so far this might be probably my second favorite episode of this season so far.
I really enjoyed this episode. I really liked all the backstory that we got on all the characters. We finally got a bunch of different what should I say, stories about Ellie and how this whole time jump happens and what happens during the time jump and her relationship with Joel. And how it kind of deteriorates.
I definitely feel like it helped fill in some of the time gaps for me. There are a few things in there that are like, it's not that I didn't like them. It's just like, I was like, that's weird compared to the game. But all in all, like most of it just worked for me. I thought that it was really great to have this flashback episode because I think a core part of this season of television that I am missing is Joel. Because like just having him back in this flashback for the whole episode was just so nice and just made me feel like I appreciate having Joel in this show so much more than I do other characters. It
was great. We finally seen Eugene. We saw Joe Padalino.
We did.
We also got a really good flashback intro, more backstory on the Miller family, which was cool with Joel's dad and Tommy when he was young and Joel when he was young.
And it kind of like helped anchor the episode because it did.
Because there was a correlation of conversations that ended in the beginning and at the end. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts, Mike? We're letting Mike stand dormant there.
Okay. I don't really have a lot of constructive criticism with this episode. I feel like they kind of hit it all, and then some, like you said, with kind of going to Joel and Tommy's backstory was cool. As kids and how they hit all of the birthdays, and kind of seeing some of the growing pains of Joel and Ellie as her becoming from a teenager to a young woman. I thought that was cool. All the way up to where he confesses of, what happened in Seattle. So I think I'm with you. I think that's probably my favorite episode so far.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. It's I do like that. I like the birthdays, going through the birthdays. I thought that was unique. Ellie actually worked for me in this episode because more so than other episodes, just because she was playing more of her age, and more of a young Ellie. And I guess that's just like that's just what works best for Bella Ramsey. He used to play a younger Ellie. But yeah, exactly. It's just, I think that it was cool. We got the museum scene, which I thought was awesome. I thought maybe it could have been fleshed out a little bit more like it was in the game, but then, as you know, at the same time, maybe people, again, it goes back to that thing of like people instant like stuff happening. You know, people don't want to just hear the chitter chatter.
Yeah, because it kind of like it's just skipped to that sequence where the cutscene was.
Yeah, we went from the dinosaur, from the T-Rex on the outside by the fountain, and then immediately into the space exploration portion of the museum, into the Apollo mission sequence, which was done excellently. I thought.
I agree.
I thought it was beautiful. I also I guess it's not necessarily a negative, but it's like I did think it was weird the certain points in time during the episode where like Joel played the song to Ellie. Like I thought happened, or not that I thought that happened at a different time, but like I remember playing the game and Ellie being a lot less like happy-go-lucky when he was playing that song. I feel like at that point in the game she was still like more reserved. Like they hadn't had their confrontation yet of like whether he did it or not, but like she definitely was pulled back from him at that point. So I feel like the song was a gesture of like trying to, you know, keep their bond strong from Joel, and there was weird tension in the game. As to this, she was just like, "Play me the song." Like, So
that didn't suck.
Yeah, that didn't suck. So I thought that was interesting, and then also to go along with like some of the little changes, the actual confession at the end of the episode. Like he tells her what happened. They have that whole confrontation after Dina's kiss, after the party, after Seth, like, and then immediately goes into like the confession, Joel telling him that he'd do it again, and then basically Ellie being like, "I'd like to forgive you," basically.
No, I think she said, I don't know if I can forgive you, but I'm going to try.
But I'm going to try.
Yeah.
See, and I'm not going to, you'll see in the game later. I won't talk about it, but Mike knows that things are out of order here. So,
yeah. But hey, he's at a point in the game now where he should get my breakfast burrito joke.
Oh yeah,
I made
yeah.
a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was really well done. How they had that correlation between the Joel Miller family and how his dad kind of represents Joel, obviously, because that's you know, it's his family, it's his father, and that speech has that correlation at the end. I thought that was really cool, the connection of that. Yeah, the only difference was just her, the confession, because the confession was, didn't they go to Salt Lake and in the game and you go there?
Well, she took off. She takes a horse and she takes off and she goes to the hospital.
Okay, and then she gets the tape recorder and then she listens to it. And then they have the confrontation and she says, "Tell me the truth or we're done."
Yeah.
And then she cries and then...
And you have a while of Ellie sitting on that news. You know, like you have at least a year of her sitting on that. So it's weird to just have the confession and then immediately go into the forgiveness stage. Well, you know, like the wanting to forgive stage. But I do love the, like you were saying before, the relationship shown between Joel's dad and Joel, and just like it's just the clear example of every father is just trying to do it better than their father. So, like,
yeah, when he says, "If you have kids someday, I hope you do it better than me, or just a little better than me."
Yeah. So it's just kind of like it's just cool to see. One thing that I do love that's different in the show versus the game is this confession scene. The confession scene, like he straight up is just like, because I love you, because you like, and we don't get that. We get a lot, but we don't get that much.
No.
So,
I don't think we ever get those 3 words out of Joel. Period.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can recall in the game,
and
it's always implied by his actions.
And then also, it's a really emotional scene. They're teared up, and it's really well portrayed. I thought.
But he's like, Mike's got a point though. Like, he doesn't say "I love you" at all.
No, he doesn't
in the game. And then to even add on to that, he never puts himself in Ellie's dad's position ever. And this, he straight up was like, I'm basically your dad, without saying like I'm your dad. He's just like you'll know when you have someone, like when you have one. That's what he says.
Yeah, I just liked, he was kind of, you felt resentment because, she's a lesbian or whatever, like in the scene where she's getting the tattoo.
Yeah.
And then at the end sequence, when we're having a conversation, he's like, Dina's good for you. She nice. You like her and all that stuff, which was cool. I saw that there was growth there because he had resentment before.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to see that whole rebellious stage of Ellie too, and she was kind of, Joel dealing with that, or like her trying to move into the garage like in the middle of the night. It was cool to see a little bit of extra context. We do not get a lot of that in the game as what we got in this episode. We got a little bit of extra like interpersonal stuff happening like in Jackson too. So I thought it was cool. I'm happy with this episode a lot. So
yeah, and there's the scene where he said a moth represents change, and then Gale says, "Is that true?" He's like, "No, that's a complete opposite. That represents death." Yeah, and the funny part is Joel, how he is, he just gets up and walks away, and then Gale's like, "What the fuck, Joel?"
He's like, "I did not just carve him off on that guitar."
Yeah, when he was doing that, yeah,
it's just funny.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have the whole Eugene scene, which is really, really cool. And you get all the information that we get in episode 2 when Gale is talking to Joel and they're doing their sit downs, as she's his therapist. So we get all that information of how he kills Eugene, and you can see that this is where you can see the resentment and all the other stuff and the kind of the falling out like with Joel and Ellie, like because he said you swear, just like he said you swear you're telling the truth as they walk to Jackson at the end of the first game. This time she says you swear and he says I swear, and then they get there and then the whole thing happens and Joel lies and Ellie just steps up, says that's not how it happened.
Yeah, they both were pretty shitty right there.
Yeah.
They both had pretty bad moments.
But they were justified in their own ways.
They were. Like clearly she was acting upon her emotions and he was trying to be more safe.
Of the community.
Yeah.
Trying to be safe.
But at the start of that day, it was already an emotional day because she was preparing her speech for Joel. Before
they went on the because that was her first patrol, and that's when she showed a lot of disregard for Joel. Anyways, like she's like, I'm not your fucking dad. You're not my fucking dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm your partner.
Yeah, I'm your partner, and he was like. She's kind of like piddling around when he's trying to teach her, well, you have to use your binoculars to scan the area. And she's just like piddling around and she's like, So,
and at this point, I feel like she's 19. This is the Ellie that we start off with. So I'm just like, okay, why you acting? Now you acting like the Ellie I don't like in this show. So,
but I'm kind of glad we didn't get a whole episode on Eugene like that. I feel like that was enough because he wasn't like a prominent character.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, no, for real. We got to see that. We got to see him. I thought that was pretty cool. And, her being like, count to 10 after, he's been infected. And she's like, we got time. And then just whole like Joel taking him out to this beautiful scenery, and then him just being like, I just need to see my wife. Like, that's what I need. Like, definitely a lot of emotions. I felt it. So
I think that could be a small throwback to Joel's like more darker era, I guess, that he refers to even in the first game about the stuff that him and Tess had to do to survive. Stuff you don't really see, dealing with raiders and stuff. And that was kind of like I feel like that was kind of a throwback to that little nod to that about how dark and gritty it can really be. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Stuff that he tries to mask up.
Yeah, definitely shows just a glimpse of like I've done some really, really awful things.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's like I mean, this is cool flashback.
The flashback was really good, and it also just shows Joel's character too. Like, Joel. Well, I don't know. I mean, Joel has a problem with lying. He doesn't like to tell the truth straight up. Like, they have that scene where he's interrogating. He's like, "Well, tell me the story," and his dad says, "That's not what happened. That's not what the kid said."
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Because he was basically trying to protect Tommy, even though it was Tommy that was fucking up. And
but that's the whole thing is like these are the examples you learn from your father.
Yeah.
So you like you pick up habits.
Yeah.
Because you see the intentions, but the intentions aren't necessarily correct. So.
Well, I mean, while lying is obviously not an admirable personality quality, I think he had the right intentions every time.
Yeah, he definitely did. And like like the decision to tell Gail what she needed to know, like, I mean, honestly, that's probably what would have been best in that whole situation. Because nobody wants to hear what like actually happened. And Joel's willing to just deal with, like, I think he even mentions
bottling it up.
Yeah, like he even mentions that like these are the things that he has to pay for. Like basically his actions, he pays for his actions in his own way. When he talks to Ellie, that's what he says to her. And yeah, like, it sucks. It sucks that Ellie was just like, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
I felt the pain, man. I was like, oh, this is rough.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that part too much.
Yeah, it's just like you're just clearly intentionally trying to hurt everyone around you, Ellie. So just because you're not happy, you're not thinking of the bigger picture. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to add on to this.
I mean,
it was good. Like,
I mean, there's not much more that really happened in this episode besides that all those flashbacks, which were really presented well. So, any more thoughts on how in terms of the game's representation of the story with the flashbacks and the
in the game, you get the flashbacks throughout the entire game. In this show, we just got an episode dedicated to it. So
flashback dump.
So it was interesting way to do it, but it's fine. I guess it's fine. I probably wouldn't have done it that way, but that's just.
I mean, at least the museum flashback was the one that was pretty consistent to the game, so
it's good. But there's a lot more, and I think that it's like because of what you learn, because of it just shows the seasoning of Ellie in the flashbacks in the game, and you don't get that. We haven't got that in the show, except this is the only flashback we've gotten. But like we have flashback of Ellie and Tommy, sniping. Freaking whatchamacallit? Infected. We have multiple we have the one where they go with the couple that got lost and they go try to go to the music shop and then they get stuck in the hotel and fight the boomer or whatever, or what is it? I forgot what the infected is called. The big one. The bloater?
The bloater.
Yeah. I'm thinking like Gears of War boomer. Yeah, so we get a lot more of like Ellie dealing with some crazy shit versus like what we've gotten in the show so far. So that's just the key differences I feel as far as the flashbacks go. And you'll see even more as you play along. You'll see more flashbacks between the two characters. So because Abby has her fair share of flashbacks as well.
So any thoughts of what might happen in the next episode? I mean, now we can talk about Ellie's ending. I mean, before I go into Abby now.
I guess my only curiosity for next episode is Tommy.
Yeah.
Like, Tommy plays a big role in what's supposed to happen in this next episode. So I'm like, where is
they make it to the coast towards the end there?
The
like
aquarium?
The aquarium, yeah.
Where everything really goes down before you start playing Abby's side of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see what happens with Jesse too.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens.
Jesse is you know what?
Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't want spoilers, like we'll talk a little bit of spoiler territory. So if you haven't played the game, here's your warning going forward. Yeah, Jesse fucking dies, bro. Jesse gets pop.
Doesn't he get just smoked in the face?
Yeah,
he gets capped.
He just comes through the door and then just boom, done. Like no time to even like really react to it. Like,
I mean, granted,
which is awesome.
Granted, Abby comes in full rage.
So. Oh, she's just like she's there. She's
well, not only that, I mean, Ellie kills Mel and Ellie kills Owen. So those are like some of her best friends in their entire life.
You'll get to see. You'll get to see, dude. Like you're playing her part now. You'll get to see a lot of the connection going on.
Probably should have put a spoiler alert there as well, maybe with Owen.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I mean, like going forward, we're talking spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot that happens. Ellie's about to pay for everything she did, and that's what we're supposed to see in this next episode. If this is the season finale,
that was 6. There's 2 more, right?
I thought it was to 9 episodes, but I've heard otherwise from multiple people.
Well, I saw on TV.db. It could be a typo that there was only 1 more episode. So I don't know.
Man.
I heard 9 episodes.
Let's look it up and
here, like give me
for sure here.
Let's see. It says 7.
Yeah.
That's weird because it said 9, like I swear, like the other week.
That's why I always check TV.db for everything, like for show, mostly for shows. They do movies, but that one I just definitely wanted to know.
Yeah, 7 episodes. That's wild. This better be a long episode.
I agree.
Well,
because there's a lot of stuff to cover. If they're going to go
still
straight into season 3 being Abby, is Catherine O'Hara stated.
Yeah,
so
Catherine O'Hara stated that.
So this episode's got to be long, like you said. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's like you got. I agree, you guys. I mean, they still have 2 of the wolf pack left to eliminate with Owen and who was the other one? Mel. Yeah. So they have a lot of ground to cover. The meetup with Tommy, Jesse. I mean, it's gonna have to be at least an hour and a half episode.
It's got to be a long one. Like,
it has to be. There's too much left to go. Now, I have heard that there have been mentions of 4 seasons to
I'm pretty sure
Abby's part as well.
I'm pretty sure that's like a definite at this point because like Anthony just said, like Catherine O'Hara, like I just read an article where she basically confirmed that season 3 is all about Abby, which that means season 4 will have to be like the wrap up between the both of their stories because as we know, we've played the game. After you do Abby's part, it's a back and forth situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll see going forward, Anthony playing the game.
Well, so while I do see Abby's the antagonist, I am kind of excited to see how they portray her part of the game.
Yeah, me too. I'm maybe it'll be interesting because Abby is she's one of those controversial characters. Or not like the whole game is one of the most controversial games for gamers. Even though like you either really love this game or you really fucking hate this game. But Abby's just one of those characters who everybody just like really wasn't vibing with. And it took me till the second time I played the game where I actually like felt the actual sympathy for Abby. Cause like the initial playthrough, I was just like, no, like you can't make me like this girl.
You fucking bitch. And you're like,
you cannot. So
I'm also kind of curious to see how they do Yara, with Abby meets Yara. And is it her sister?
Yes.
Or his sister, I guess, if you're going by the identity politics.
Yeah. So that's and then we'll see how they portray that, and I think that it should be crazy. I mean, I hope that the actress who plays Abby doesn't go through the same stuff that Laura Bailey did, because like Laura Bailey, who's the voice of Abby in the game, she got like, for one, Laura Bailey is an incredible actor. I just want to start with that. Like Laura Bailey is just one of the top dog voice actors. She's amazing in Critical Role. She's just an all-time great person.
She was Jaina in World of Warcraft for years.
She's amazing.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she is. He's Jaina's
Jaina
voice.
Proudmoore.
Yeah, and we have just her and Troy Baker. They're just the two. They're like they're the best at voice actors in the industry. Honestly,
Laura Bailey is incredible, and so like it was so heartbreaking for me to hear the amount of like death threats that she was like receiving.
That's wild, dude.
Like
to get death threats over that's insane.
Yeah, it's a game. Like
that's like I get hired for a job and someone's like, fuck you, man. I'm gonna kill you, and like sending me, like for what? Why? I just accepted a job.
You're just doing your job the best that you can.
Life.
It kind of reminds me of I don't remember the actress's name, but the one who plays the queen in Game of Thrones that everybody hates. Cersei.
Laura Headey.
Yeah,
or Laura Headey.
Yeah, I remember at the cons, her line was like always empty, and she never took it as a negative thing. She just said that just means I'm doing my job well. So like it's just weird. Fans are weird. And could you even call them fans at that point? To send death threats, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about that in terms of Laura Bailey.
And a fiction story.
So Caitlin Dever, I hope that she doesn't have to receive the same kind of like feedback as Laura Bailey got, because it's Abby's a hell of a lot of stories. So
well, we know she'll never play professional golf. So there's that.
Another interesting thing before we wrap up this episode that I want to say is I was curious because I was having a conversation about this season so far with some of my Discord people, and they were all pretty much on the same page about like how we feel about Ellie so far, and I just think this really funny because I started to think like, man, maybe I'm shitty for like feeling this way, but like you guys, I was like, okay, Mike feels this way, Anthony feels this way. I've got a couple people right here in my Discord that feel this way. Like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy. Like Ellie is maybe she's better than I think giving her credit for. But I saw the fact that I don't know the actress's name, but the actress who plays Dina, she has a YouTube channel.
I saw I saw a short about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was watching this season and she was just like, I don't like that. She's like, I don't like that they made Ellie unintelligent completely. And she's like, wow, Ellie. She's like, Dina's really the star here. Ellie's just the side bitch.
That's what I exactly said last week. And I saw that clip and she did say that. Yeah, it was like a short. She's like, funny. She's like, she didn't really like the whole Nora confrontation either. No, she wasn't about it.
There was I was just like, okay, I'm justified. Somebody who was actually in the game doesn't like
yeah. I didn't mention that last week, but that whole confrontation scene was cool, but I didn't like how Nora was portrayed. Like in the game, she's got cordyceps, she's got spores like already coming out of her. You can like see it.
Oh yeah, you see how messed up the spores already make her. So.
And that wasn't even portrayed in the. I thought it should have been, but that's just how it went down. But I thought that should have been in there.
Yeah, yeah, because she was coughing, pretty heavily there for a minute, and then she stopped, so she keeps saying no over and over. And I was like, "What happened to her cough?" I don't know.
Yes. So, yeah, that's
you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some for sure.
Can I just add a comical?
Yeah.
To this, so every time. Whenever they were in the this capsule in the museum, she put on the helmet, dude. I thought of like so many Buzz Lightyear one-liners, dude. We're not aiming for the truck, and I was just like, oh shit. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't help myself.
That's funny.
Whatever.
Yeah, there was the change though, but it's in the game where you're looking at all the cases, you're trying on all the helmets, and then you have that part where in the show it's just like, well, you can't go into space without a helmet, and then he hands Ellie a rock, Joel does, and then she picks one and breaks it. So that's different, I guess.
But I think that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Just, it's fine.
Like in the game, it's more of just an optional point. To put on all the helmets. So. I was sad that I didn't get all my Jurassic Park references in this episode. So. But maybe another flashback at another time.
Well, like Mike said, you win some and you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. All right, I think that's it for this episode. I mean, all in all, we all really enjoyed it. And it's funny when you actually enjoy an episode how like little there is to talk about because they did it good.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do this to kind of give feedback, constructive criticism, point out likes, dislikes, and stuff. But there wasn't really a lot of dislikes for this episode. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's good piece of television here. So, all right, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps us out. And just let us know what kind of content I want to engage with you guys more. So if there's certain kinds of content that you think that we should do, if you have any suggestions, any thoughts, etc., please just let us know. We're always looking to, better the podcast, better the channel, better it all, and just improve. So
yeah, we have some new announcements coming, and we'll get to those after we're done with this series.
Yeah, after next week, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, cool. Thanks, guys, and I will catch you guys later.
See you, everyone.